Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. So as we get started, I've just got a quick question for y'all. By show of hands, how many of you out there have made a bad decision or a choice that you regretted? Just by a show of hands. Keep your hands up there if you've made more than one. All right. Now, just for a moment, I'd like for you to imagine being judged for the rest of your life by one of those decisions. This is what life is like for 2.3 million Americans who are living in prison today. When they get out, they can apply for hundreds of jobs, but it'll be game over the second that they have to disclose that they've been convicted of a felony. And next chapter, we've been working hard to dispel these myths and really help open people's eyes to the potential that exists out there. We aim to put an end to the stigma in tech, and we aim to put an end to the stigma in tech and create new employment opportunities for people who are leaving incarcerated settings. Since 2018, we've been training cohorts in CSS, JavaScript, Node, and much, much more. Why do we do this? Because we believe that talent is evenly distributed in this world, and because by 2024, there's going to be a shortfall of over 1 million engineering jobs. 95% of those 2.3 million that are incarcerated will one day be released. And we have a unique opportunity to shape the world that they're coming back to. How do I know this? Because I was one of them. My name is Crispino Kenyatta Leal, and just over a decade ago, I was known as inmate number H10983. Today, I'm the executive director of Next Chapter, and I'm standing before you today not just as a formerly incarcerated individual, but also as a leader, as a change maker, and as an advocate for second chances. Now let me tell y'all, the road from a prison cell to being here with y'all today was anything but straightforward. You know, when I got out, I faced many of the same stigmas and stereotypes that folks face when they're released. But here I am, and I'm here because I believe so deeply in this work. Now, here in the United States, we have the highest incarceration rate in the world. These aren't just numbers. These are people. These are families and communities that are impacted by this stuff. The stigma of a prison record can turn hope for a fresh start into a nightmare of rejection. I've seen firsthand the talent and potential that's wasted when we don't give folks an opportunity to work when they come home. But I've also seen the profound impact when we do. It's about more than just reducing recidivism. It's about tapping into a reservoir of untapped potential and talent. Speaking of potential and talent, I want to share a story with you today of a gentleman by the name of Sumit Lal. Sumit was once just a statistic in the system. Through Next Chapter, he's become a software engineer, a colleague, and a beacon of hope of what's possible. So let's take a few moments to hear from Sumit himself.
We all benefit when we support people returning home with opportunities like training and mentorship. This story from a Next Chapter alumnus is an amazing example of that. Their journey shows how we all thrive when people can come home to freedom.
I do a lot of meditating, a lot of running. Running makes me feel mentally free because in prison, there's a lot of times where they'll call yard down. And so in the middle of your run, you just have to sit down, and sometimes it can last 2 minutes to 2 hours. And so for me, being able to run when I want, where I want is very liberating. My name is Sumit, and I'm a software engineer at Slack. Growing up, didn't know much about computers. The most I knew how to do was, log into Facebook at that time. So Next Chapter came and they gave a little informal presentation about it while I was inside San Quentin State Prison. The CEO of Slack, Stuart Butterfield, came in. I simply asked him and said, hey, will you be willing to hire formerly incarcerated people? And immediately he said yes. As soon as they left, people were drilling down on their computers. They were working because this is what gave us hope. When I first came home, finding a job was very difficult. A lot of companies weren't open to hiring people that are coming in with the record. I applied to a little over 83 companies, and I have a spreadsheet of all of them. One approach I took was I was going to be upfront about, myself and my past, in hopes that they would appreciate my efforts to get to this point. Unfortunately, that was not the case. The companies could not get past my background. There was a sense of relief going into the interview with Slack because I could actually focus on the hard stuff, which was the technical questions. I wasn't worried about them finding my background as an issue. Coding in a way freed me from the barbed wires, the correctional facility that I was at, right? It took me out of prison for those 6-7 hours that I was learning how to code, that I was behind a computer. There's always going to be other things that brings me down, a part of my past that I'm not going to be able to let go, that's always going to be there. But me just accepting who I am now, that's where I feel the most free. Me being who I'm supposed to be, who I'm meant to be, who I'm working hard to be. And I feel like now that gives me a different perspective of what being free means.
So let's talk business. There's a talent war out there right now, and yet there's a whole segment of our society that's overlooked. As I mentioned earlier, by 2024, there's supposed to be an estimated shortfall of over 1 million engineering jobs. And fair chance hiring isn't just the right thing to do, it's really a business imperative. And the evidence is clear. Diverse teams are more innovative, more resilient, and they bring perspectives that can transform challenges into opportunities. When we include people with different life experiences, we're not just changing lives, we're really driving success. Next Chapter was first incubated back at Slack in 2018, and today we're operating as a social venture with the Tide Center. Now, our mission really is to empower formerly incarcerated people to excel in tech careers, while at the same time driving positive change in the tech industry. We accomplish this through rigorous training, simultaneously with multifaceted support. So every day, my team and I are working really hard to rewrite stories just like Samit's every single day. Our graduates aren't just getting jobs, they're starting careers, and they're fueling growth, and they're living proof of the power of opportunity. We're seeing recidivism rates plummet, employment soar, and lives rebuilt. This isn't a dream, it's happening. And it's happening because of programs like Next Chapter and bold leadership from our 15 hiring partners. Today we've partnered with Slack, Zoom, Dropbox, Square, and a host of other companies. So as we come to an end, I ask you to envision a future where the mistakes of our past don't define us, where potential is unlocked and opportunities are abundant. Join us. Whether you're a business leader, policymaker, or community advocate, we all have a role to play. So support fair chance hiring, mentor someone who's trying to rebuild their life, and advocate for change. Every action counts. Together, let's not just imagine a better future, let's build it. We have 15 learners right now who are completing our boot camp. They'll be done in December. And we'd love to chat with any of you out there that are willing to have a conversation about potentially hiring one of these folks and bring them onto your team. And so with that, I want to thank you so much. Have a blessed day.